Alright, hello, greetings, and welcome everyone to another episode where we talk about the Theatre Mechanicus in Genshin Impact. I am Jeff, the Christian Gamer. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the next stage. We'll play the second round. Multiplier 1.2. I think I said 1.1 last video. It is 1.2. So we'll go ahead and go into here. Wait, let's go back. Before we get into this, there is an armory that you will utilize on 1.2 to go ahead and upgrade your turrets here. What I did first was I maxed out my electric one because the electric does a ridiculous amount of damage, and the elemental reactions that the electric turret does has a lot more impact than pretty much any other elemental reaction. Plus, it does not break a freeze, which happens with the ice and water turrets. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is max this guy out first. It is the best one to max out, and then you work on your water and ice respectively, and then you fill in everything else, because I really did not use anything else. I'm upgrading these because I have the points for it and I can. But yeah, these three are going to be your top priority: the Rippling Reflections, the Glacial Bloom, and the Furious Discharge. Alright, so after you've completely upgraded your turrets as much as you can, again, start off with your Furious Discharge. You're going to go out of there, and then you're going to go ahead and set up your party. Again, make sure your party has Sucrose in it. She is the easiest unit to work with in these stages. Alright, so here we are. Essentially what we're going to be doing, again, because I am higher up in the totem pole with respect to levels, I'm going to be setting mine up differently. But essentially what you want to do is you want to set up your water here, your ice here, another ice over here, and then last but not least your electric up front. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting up pretty much the same thing. Put my water here, then I will put my ice here, and I'm going to have to wait for the rest of my materials so I can build more. Again, the reason why I'm doing it this way is because for some reason the ice seems to react better if I do the ice first and then the water. It freezes much better if you do ice and then water. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's a glitch, maybe that's how it was the entire time and I just didn't notice. But the point is, yeah, ice first, then water. We'll go ahead and start this guy up. They walk in such a synchronized manner. I say as they get less synchronized as they go along. Yeah, this should be pretty speedy. There are some stages where it is advisable to throw down one of these recovery MKs. Perhaps early on in the game when you're not as well upgraded, you may want to go for a recovery MK. When you place those, you want to place them right in the middle of where all the damage is happening so that those guys actually die in the right area so that you can collect the extra stuff. What the MK does is it generates points for each opponent defeated in the AoE around it. Yeah, it's not a very big AoE. It'll cover probably a circle from the center here all the way out to about here. So it'll be a circle all the way around, something like this. Something like that all the way around. And so you'll notice that if you don't put it in the middle of all your turrets, then the monsters will die without you ever being able to collect their extra points. But I don't necessarily care about that very often. I only used those recovery MKs like for one stage, and that was the second stage. This stage, actually, I used one right here, and that was the only time I ever used it. I never ended up using it again. The points that you generate, or the points that you're going to get from these guys, is enough. Another thing you can do is, if you're getting overwhelmed, you can always hit this guy here and drop out most of those guys so you don't have to worry about them. The unfortunate factor here is that they don't just fall off repeatedly or continuously. The guys that are on the bridge actually fall off. Nobody else falls off, so don't mess yourself up with that. There is nothing that I want this go round, so we're going to go ahead and skip. Again, the only thing that I go for is the ones that have a cost of 0. The cost of 0 ones tend to be stuff to make the level harder, like speedy hilichurls, or later on it'll be really large lawchurls, or whatever you call those guys. Yeah, so I don't need to be waiting here. Let's go ahead and skip that. Yeah, here's another one of those speedy fellows, the little mini guys. Again, this is one of those times where you want to make sure you are ready with Sucrose, so she can blow them back if necessary, but that will not be necessary apparently, because he is super squishy thanks to my turrets being highly upgraded. But yeah, always be on the lookout for those speedy guys. Always be on the lookout for the big shielded hilichurls. You'll need to use your wind to slow them down as much as possible. Yeah, they will usually die relatively quickly if you keep them still. If you don't keep them still, they'll just kind of walk through your turrets and go into and go into your spawn point, or whatever you call that, the singularity, and you don't want that. So yeah. Interactive functions of the field can be used now. That's great. So yeah, here we are. We just keep blowing him over and over again, and he will eventually die, like so. The reason why at the beginning I set more ice than anything is that ice effect is going to be the most important aspect to getting these guys slowed down and frozen. The ice will slow them down after you've upgraded to a certain level, and then it will also freeze them when the water gets to them. Basically, all the elemental reactions that you've gotten used to in the game will still work here, and yeah. And I know it's relatively difficult, but if you guys know how to time the hilichurl getting the shield hilichurl's shield getting knocked away, dazing him, if you can time dazing him just right, you can actually have him take quite a bit of damage from a superconduct if you do it correctly. I am not great at that skill, but I know that it's possible to do so. Basically, you blow him with sucrose at the right moment, and all of that damage will pretty much devastate him in a matter of 2 hits maybe. So yeah, that's another thing to be cognizant of. Alright, now this stage will be a little bit more tricky because as you can see here, they have cryo stuff, cryo samacho, cryo slime. It should still work just fine because of superconduct, but just letting you guys know, this might be a time where I do a significant amount of blowing around people as a result of these running hilichurls. Let's see, go ahead and construct, and we'll go ahead and pull a guy right here. Growing into this area is not necessary for somebody who's used to these stages, who has gone through them like I have. But at the beginning, setting up base over here is also a very good idea. As you can see, I've placed 1 water, 3 ice, and 1 electric. That should be enough to take care of pretty much anything. As you can see, the guys who are immune to ice get blown up by the water and the electricity, and then everybody else gets hit by everything and gets frozen in place. You will pretty much have no problems whatsoever throughout this stage if you use this strategy. I definitely did that thing. Remember how I told you guys to be careful about your placements and make sure you click it? Yeah, I did not click it, so I had a bunch of water where I did not need it. You only need 1 water pretty much for an area. Well, let's see, initially your water explosion area will be about to here instead of out to where it is, out to there. So with that radius, you'll be able to hit anything that comes through, and then your ice will freeze them, and you'll just, you'll decimate them. So yeah, that's basically the stage in a nutshell. Just continuing to make sure that you're vigilant and that you are blowing your enemies away. If you are playing with sucrose and pretty much playing your water, electric, and ice, then there's not a single stage you shouldn't be able to beat relatively easily. Yeah, push back and push back. There we go, and push back and freeze, and yeah. So sucrose allows you to put the freeze effect on people if you time it right. You can go without water and get your freezing effect. If you hit somebody with that ice identifier on their heads, they will unless they die too quick for me to show you, but they will freeze when you hit them with sucrose's wind blast. So yeah, keep that in mind if you are having trouble with an enemy, and yeah, you're having, but if you're having trouble with those enemies, make sure that you understand that if your ice effect is on them, you can freeze them with sucrose. But yeah, that'll be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Jeff the Christian Gamer. If you'd like to like and or subscribe, please do that. If you'd like to check out other videos I've done, click the links in this video. I have a Facebook and a Twitter. Please check those out, and I'll catch you guys next time.